Hey YouTube, last week at GBL, I went over top Great League teams and Pokemon this morning, and I can do the same for Ultra League. And it starts with just a couple updates. I think the update was already happening after I think the last time Ultra League was, when was Ultra League on last week? Maybe 3-4 weeks ago. And Tapu Fini up to number 3 with Nature's Madness. Just a pure upgrade over Moonblast, which is what it used to run before, right? So you have less damage per energy, sure, but 10 less energy to use and 100% chance of lowering your opponent's defense. And then when you have a water gun fast move that does 3.6 damage per turn, just basically lowering your opponent's defense and then just doing that much more fast move damage and then being able to throw surf is much more, there's a significant upgrade there. So Tapu Fini jumped to number 3. I'm sure I'm going to show you a home slice team there in 1 second with Tapu Fini. But otherwise, same old. It's tough to. This is actually one of my biggest, not concerns, but issues with a GBL season, and it can go both ways. So Tapu Fini gets a new move, gets number 3. I think that's healthy. I think getting new Pokemon during the season, stuff like that can kind of shake up the meta is good. But then you look at the rest of it. So Feraligatr, yes, Feraligator's up there at number 2, but Feraligator that was a beginning of the season turnover, right? So the beginning of the season, new move, has been top Pokemon in Great League and Ultra League since they got Shadow Claw. But the rest of these Pokemon are the same, and they've been the same all of this season. Again, Empoleon Steel Wing got a bump, but the rankings for Registeel and Giratina and Poliwrath and Pidgeot and Cresselia and Virizion and all these Pokemon have been the same the entire season. And it's not a bad thing, because I guess what you don't want is, you don't want to, especially if you don't have the dust and the candies, you don't want to have to build new Pokemon every 2 weeks, right? So I get that there's some consistency. Plus, if you use a team earlier in the season, you can use it later in the season and it would realistically still work. So I get it from that perspective. I think what I just don't like is the staleness from season to season. And that's the thing. You saw it in Ultra League. Couple Pokemon risen up, but it's a lot of the same teams that you've been using in the previous seasons. Great League, same sort of concept, right? You have, yes, there's more Quagsire with Aqua Tail now is a little higher up, and Skarmory with Steel Wings, but those Skarmory's always been a meta. If you're not using Quagsire, you're using Whiscash with Scald or Swampert anyways. So it doesn't change much of the meta. You just get a condensed meta. So as we get into the teams here, you're going to kind of see the same thing, right? So this is one that hopefully put out that I also had the very, very similar team for. Asan / Gliscor and the new Nature's Madness Tapu Fini. You're weak to fighting on the front, and you're weak to fire. Double weak to fire on the front as well. Double weak to fighting and double weak to fire. So have a flyer ground and a water in the back to deal with that. Very common team. Gliscor is pretty safe in this meta, just with the Wing Attack Air Lace Earthquake combo there. And this is one I also liked from Home Slice. No, sorry. From Zionic. He showcased this team. Don't use Ho-Ho. Just use, you can use a Ho if you want, or you can use Talonflame. But Talonflame, Virizion, and Giratina. Giratina is a safe swap. Virizion is a really nice Pokemon. I like using Virizion a lot because it used to wall a couple Pokemon because of the double quick stickers. What did it used to wall? Not just electric. It used to wall. I forget which one it used to wall really well. Oh, Swampert. It used to just absolutely wall Swampert because you're a grass Pokemon which resisted the Hydro Cannon and Earthquake. So if you got in Swamperts, we're everywhere. If you got on Swampert, you could just kind of destroy it. And then Giratina has always been a good safe swap. And Purple Kyogre put out this team. Again, Zygarde, if you have one, good, lucky for you. If you don't, you can use another Pokemon. I don't even mind using Shadow Dragonite on the lead, quite honestly. And I think Feraligatr and Tentacruel are really, really, really strong in this meta. Obviously, Shadow Claw is a huge improvement to Feraligatr. Hydro Cannon. He's using Crunch. what's the trade-off of Crunch versus Ice Beam? I mean, Ice Beam and Crunch are both going to hit your Giratinas for super effective. Crunch gives you a little more variety if you're in like a mirror match, right? If you're in a mirror match for Alligator, you can go Crunch as opposed to Hydro Cannon resisted. But I like Ice Beam more. And then Tentacruel, very bulky. Blizzard here to nuke Giratina and stuff, but Skull is obviously a great move, and then Poison Jet will add up very quickly. Plus, if you're going to use a Dragon on the front, you probably need an answer to a Fairy in the back. So here's a couple teams that I've used. Pidgeot, again, Pidgeot I think is one of the best leads in this just because Wing Attack is so fast charging. Feather Dance or Brave Bird gives you such variety. And then just use two very, very bulky. I use Poliwrath. I would say Poliwrath and Registeel. Two bulky, great safe swaps that can both grab shields. And those two fit the bill very, very well. So you have their Flyer, which does great coverage and then can grab shields and stuff like that in any neutral situation. And then if you get hit with a bad lead, like a Steel or something, you can just come Registeel or Poliwrath and both will do fine as safe swaps. Speaking of Flyers, similar idea. Very similar idea to the team I just put out. Zapdos as the Flyer. Again, there's a lot more water in this meta, right? There's Poliwrath and there's Feraligatr and there's Empoleon, so a lot more water Pokemon. So Zapdos as your electric Flyer, nice. Poliwrath safe swap and Licky Licky because you're gonna have problems with Giratina and Wall Giratina with the normal typing, and then Lick and Shadow Ball combo there. And the last one is again Feraligatr, Ampharos. Ampharos is very sneaky strong as a safe swap, especially the Shadow version where you can just go Thunder Punch, Brutal Swing. Oh, this is one that would also get walled by Virizion because it is fighting and grass, so it resists dark and electric. But Ampharos otherwise in that is a pretty good safe swap, being able to hit a lot of things. So that is basically it. Again, I expect most people to play Great League, but I know some people like Ultra League, and Master League is also on. I will not do Master League teams because I cannot play it. But that is it. Thanks for watching. Good luck, and I'll see you guys in the next one.